Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, October 16, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. New England Patriots vs Cleveland Browns. The Patriots look to have turned the corner against the Lions. Granted, it was a coaching mismatch with the overly aggressive Dan Campbell against the seasoned Bill Belichick, but the Patriots' ability to get to the quarterback was encouraging. In this matchup, it will be 2 ground and pound offenses squaring off, in which possession will be critical. The Patriots will likely keep Zapp under center for at least another week because of his ability to move around and escape pressure, while Jones would be more immobile than usual with a blocky ankle. One thing the Patriots have done well throughout this 20-plus year run with Belichick is to take away the opponent's most important player. There is no doubt in my mind that Belichick will play a bigger front 7 and pack the box to take away any big runs for Chubb. New England will gamble with one-on-one coverage of the Browns receivers and force Brissett to beat them. After a strong start, Brissett looks to be returning to form in recent weeks as a capable backup, but not a long-term solution as a starting quarterback. In his last 2 games, Brissett's accuracy is down to 60% and he's thrown 2 interceptions with 1 touchdown. On the other side of the ball, Zapp has looked efficient throwing the ball, and the team has taken advantage of his skill set, running more shotgun sets than before. Stevenson will get more reps this game with Harris out, and he should have a field day against the Browns' 28th ranked rushing defense. There is also the matter of Belichick's 8-1 career record against the Browns, including a 45-7 win last season. Take the Patriots with the points, plus 2.5. These teams have been scoring well as of late, as the Patriots are averaging 26.3 points in their last 3 games, while the Browns are scoring 26.8 points in their previous 4 games. Both kickers have been doing extremely well, as Nick Folk is 9 of 10 on field goal attempts this season, 9 of 9 on kicks less than 50 yards, while Cade York is 8 of 10, 7 of 8 on kicks less than 50 yards. Both offensive lines have been able to keep their respective quarterback upright, as New England has allowed 9 sacks thus far, while Cleveland has given up 5 total sacks up to this point. The over has hit in 5 of their last 7 games against each other. Our total pick is over 43.5 points. New York Jets vs Green Bay Packers. The Jets have been the laughingstock of the AFC East over the last few seasons, but suddenly, they look like a group that can give anyone trouble. 2 wins in a row have confidence sky high for this group, and now that they also welcome back some key pieces this week, as others get further acclimated, they have the ability to put Green Bay in a difficult position. Going on the road is never easy, and while the Jets have been playing winning football, taking on the Packers is a whole new challenge, considering some of the more recent teams on their schedule. Unlike the Jets, the Packers have consistently been one of the better teams in football over the last handful of seasons, though that image remains uncertain for now. After a shocking loss last week to the Giants, Green Bay will be hoping that they can turn things around against the other Knicks squad. With some of the off-season distractions and defections, it has been difficult for the fan base to see much consistency on behalf of the team. With a return home, the Packers should be able to grab the win and bounce back, though if they take the Jets lightly, they could be in for a surprise. While the Packers will come away with a win in this one, the Jets have the game plan to stay within striking distance. New York has a 1-2 punch in their own right to move the ball on the ground and to keep the Packers' offense off of the field. Beyond that, New York has a defense that rivals some of the best in the league, and with Green Bay struggling to find much consistency on the offensive end, it could take some time for them to find their feet in this one. Additionally, according to Covers.com, the Jets are 4-1 at S in their last 5 road games, while the Packers are 1-6 at TS in their last 7 games in Week 7. Our team pick is Jets plus 7 points. The New York Jets are 10th in overall defense, allowing an average of 320.2 yards per game, which includes 114.4 yards rushing and 205.8 yards passing per contest. However, the Jets fall to 19th in points allowed at 23.6 points per game. In their 2 losses this season, New York is allowing an average of 25.5 points per game, while in the 3 victories the Jets are allowing an average of 22.3 points per game. Jets linebacker C.J. Mosley is the leading tackler with 51. As a team, New York has 10 quarterback sacks and 7 interceptions. The Green Bay Packers are allowing an average of only 19.2 points per game, which is the 11th best in the NFL. The Packers are 5th best overall on defense, allowing an average of 303.4 yards per game, which includes 126.4 yards rushing and 177.0 yards passing per game. Green Bay's defense is led by linebacker Devondre Campbell, who has a team-best 41 tackles. The Packers have 12 quarterback sacks, of which Rashan Gary has 5.0. Green Bay's secondary has made just 1 interception by cornerback Jaire Alexander. Green Bay is scoring an average of only 19.4 points per game, and the Packers are giving up even less at 19.2 points per game. Green Bay is allowing an average of only 126.4 yards per game rushing and face a New York offense that is generating only 97.0 yards per game on the ground. New York has been successful through the air, averaging 259.0 yards per game passing, but Green Bay's defense is allowing an average of only 177.0 yards per game through the air. The total has finished under in 6 of the last 8 games that the Jets have played on the road against a team with a winning home record. Our total pick is under the total. Baltimore Ravens vs New York Giants. For the Ravens, a 3-2 record hasn't come easy for this group, but after winning against the Bengals last week, they'll be hoping that they can make it back-to-back wins on Sunday. A short trip should help, even though they'll be going on the road, still, they can't take the Giants easily. With a game against Cleveland up next week, Sunday's game is the perfect opportunity for them to link together wins and try to stay atop the AFC North. The Ravens have failed to string together consecutive wins yet this season, and with their 2 losses coming by a combined 7 points, this is an opportunity that they won't want to let get away. The Giants have been one of football's worst teams over the last handful of years, but suddenly, they find themselves as a major player in the NFC East. Sitting with a 4-1 record, they'll be thrilled to be returning home after last week's trip to England. The Packers were a tough opponent, but the Giants were able to mount an impressive comeback and are hoping they can use that to parlay into their continued hot start. New York has a great slate coming up, with the Jaguars, Seahawks, and Texans coming up next, and a win on Sunday could go a long way towards them keeping pace not only atop the division, but atop the NFC as a whole. The Giants have shocked the league so far this season, and being at home will be massive towards them staying close and potentially even coming away with a win in this one. The Giants have one of the league's top ground attacks, and as they build confidence with Barkley, the play action will open up as well, which is where they'll take advantage on Sunday. The defense has been exceptional, and with the injury issues on the offensive side for the Ravens, New York's ability to limit Jackson will get them through. Additionally, according to Covers.com, the Giants are 4-1 at TS in their last 5 games overall, while the home team is 5-0 ATS in the last 5 games between the 2 teams. Our team pick is Giants, plus 5.5. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens have looked solid so far this season. They have lost 2 home games this season, one against the Dolphins and the other against the Bills. Both losses were blown leads late in the 4th quarter as the defense fell apart and the offense didn't. Other than those 2 losses, they have proved to have a solid team overall. Last Sunday, the Ravens snapped their 5-game losing streak at home when they beat the Bengals by 2 points. Jackson didn't have his best performance, however, he still led the Ravens downfield and made plays when it mattered most on the last drive to give Justin Tucker a chance to win. One key for the Giants coming into this matchup is their ability to protect Daniel Jones in the pocket. This is something that New York has struggled with since Jones stepped up to the QB1 spot. Even before then, the offensive line struggled to protect Eli Manning. Jones has adapted to the quick pressure he faces by running the ball when getting pushed out of the pocket. Jones has thrown for 848 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. On the ground, he has contributed 230 yards in 41 attempts for 2 touchdowns, averaging 5.6 yards per attempt. The next prolific rusher is Saquon Barkley with 533 rushing yards, ranking second in the NFL. He has rushed for 3 touchdowns and averages 5.5 yards per carry. Barkley was limited at practice on Thursday and is questionable to play on Sunday. Losing Barkley on Sunday could be a huge loss for the New York offense, but he's expected to play. The Ravens are going to take advantage of the New York secondary, which has been struggling this year. The New York secondary has yet to intercept a pass and does struggle in coverage, allowing easy yardage and way too many deep passes, which Jackson is known to sling. With this being said, I do think the Ravens offense is going to charge downfield effectively. For the Giants, Jones has done a great job minimizing turnovers that have plagued the offense in the past. Jones has done a great job scrambling and gaining yards, rather than losing them. In addition, the Giants have done a great job making openings for Barkley to get through, allowing him to gain massive yardage and score some points. Both teams are going to come out strong offensively. Our total pick is over 45 points. Minnesota Vikings vs Miami Dolphins. The Minnesota Vikings opened the season with an impressive 23-7 home win over Green Bay, followed by a Monday Night Football road loss to Philadelphia, 24-7. Minnesota has bounced back to win 4 games in a row, with victories over Detroit, 28-24, New Orleans, 28-25 in London, and Chicago 29-22 last Sunday. Minnesota built a 21-3 lead midway through the second quarter against Chicago, but trailed 22-21 in the fourth quarter before going on a 17-play 75-yard drive to take the 29-22 lead after a 2-point conversion. The victory was sealed when the defense held on in the final minutes after Minnesota cornerback Cam Dantzler stripped Bears receiver Emmitt Smith-Marsette with just over a minute remaining. The Dolphins jumped out to an impressive 3-0 start with wins over New England, 27, Baltimore, 42-38, and Buffalo, 21-19. Things got dicey when the Dolphins lost their first game on Thursday, September 29 to Cincinnati, 27-15. It was not the loss alone that led the headline following the Bengals game, as much as the questions surrounding how the team handled concussion protocols, as quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was knocked out of that game after being listed as questionable earlier that week. Last week, Teddy Bridgewater was knocked out of the game early, and the Dolphins lost 40-17 to the New York Jets. In the loss to New York, Miami was outgained 322-295 in total yards and also lost the turnover battle 2-0. Minnesota has failed to cover the spread in 5 of its last 6 road games, and Miami has covered in 16 of its last 21 home games, but I see that tide turning on Sunday. Home field advantage aside, the Dolphins are just 25th, averaging 3.9 yards per rushing attempt, which will put too much pressure on a 7th-round rookie quarterback, making his first career start to carry this offense. The Vikings have only played 1 true road game so far this season, which was against the Eagles, and even going back to last season, a lot of the Viking road losses over the past 2 seasons have been against tough competition and experienced quarterbacks. I have to fade the Dolphins here until they prove they can win with Thompson leading the offense. Our team pick is Minnesota Vikings -3 points. Last week the Vikings earned their 4th win of the season after slipping past the Bears in a 29-22 victory. Minnesota built an early 21-3 lead, but allowed the Bears to score 18 unanswered points, slimming the lead to 22-21 in the second half. Late turnovers and easy yardage allowed made the game closer than it should have been. The Vikings are playing under head coach Kevin O'Connell this season. He became the franchise's 10th head coach in February and has proved to be impactful as the Vikings have been playing at a high level under him. Tua Tagovailoa suffered a devastating head injury against the Bengals after failed concussion protocol allowed him to play after he appeared to have trouble balancing in a previous game. Tagovailoa's injury made the NFL question concussion protocol and revised the protocol. Teddy Bridgewater suffered a head injury during his first snap against the Jets and is going through concussion protocol. Bridgewater is listed as questionable against the Vikings, however, head coach Mike McDaniel has already expressed his concern about starting Bridgewater so soon after a head injury and confirmed Skylar Thompson will start. Bridgewater is expected to be the backup this week. The Vikings average 28.3 points per game, and this average stems from teams who have decent defenses, whereas Miami's defense has allowed the fourth most points in the NFL this season. With this being said, Miami will struggle to keep the Vikings out of the end zone. With the Miami offense being as damaged as it is now, the Vikings' time of possession will increase, allowing more opportunities to put points on the board. The Minnesota defense will take advantage of the rookie quarterback and put pressure on him, forcing turnovers and increasing the probability of defensive scoring. Although the Miami offense is broken, they are still averaging 6 yards per attempt, so they will have drives that end in points. Our total pick is over 45.5 points.